So on the topic of road traffic accidents,
Yeah.
we've already touched on motorbike incidents. I want to quickly go over pedestrian RTAs, shall we say.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about how they work, how common they are, what sort of injuries we can expect to see in those sorts of things?
Yeah, so these accidents are typical examples where people have been run over. And obviously that can happen in all sorts of ways, but it would tend to be obviously where someone's crossing the road and then they're hit by a vehicle that hasn't seen them. Obviously the injuries tend to be quite extensive and severe because of the nature of it. They're not protected by the motor vehicle. And it can even be where they're hit by a motorcyclist or even a cyclist.
Right.
Yeah, you can still actually, or we have quite a few claims where pedestrians can be hit by people on bicycles because again they don't see them or they step out in front of them because they haven't seen the cyclist, and that can cause nasty injuries actually to both sides. And so it's important if you have anything like that to get legal advice, because in those instances liability might not be clear cut who was actually at fault for the accident, and it may be that there's a degree of liability on both sides.
And that's what I want to discuss now, in that you mentioned before that proving who's at fault is very important. So when it comes to cyclists, pedestrians, and when they're both involved, is it difficult to argue who is liable for those things?
It can be, actually, it can be. Obviously it'll depend on the location of the accident, how the road was laid out, who could see what from where they were, and obviously what's happened. But yeah, I mean, in those kind of claims, it's easy, it's not always that it's the cyclist at fault for hitting the pedestrian. I mean, the pedestrian may have stepped out on the cyclist, they both may not have seen each other. It would be quite common for there to be what we call a split liability decision on that, so the fault for the accident is apportioned between the two parties, and they can actually both recover compensation in that circumstance depending on the degree of the liability.